May now begin your presentation.
Healthy food on the table. It's something most Canadians take for granted, but for millions of people in our country, there's no such guarantee. An estimated 5.8 million Canadians face food insecurity, and it's getting worse.
We've all seen the headlines. Global food prices are reaching levels never seen before. Food prices in Canada have risen by 9.7%, the largest annual increase in 40 years, and food bank usage is spiking across the country.
Yet, as Canadians struggle to put food on their tables, food waste is rampant in this country's food system.
36 million tons of food is wasted in Canada every year. Retailers and consumers throw away surplus food, and unwanted produce rots in farmers' fields.
In total, the value of that wasted food is estimated at almost $50 billion annually, and the costs go beyond that.
Canada's wasteful, linear food system squanders the resources used to produce, distribute, and store unused food, leading to enormous water waste and almost 60 million tons of avoidable CO2 emissions.
Sadly, this is a global issue.
At Enactus Okanagan College, we are taking entrepreneurial action to shift to a circular food system, one where surplus food is recovered and repurposed to fight food insecurity.
And we've created a fully sustainable social enterprise to do just that, one with real benefits for our community, local businesses, and the environment.
It started in one of the Okanagan Valley's 2,000 orchards, where apples grow on the branches above, yet chronic food waste lies below.
Every year, over 300 million pounds of apples in Canada go to waste for one purely aesthetic reason. They simply don't fit the grocery store appearance standard.
Even mildly misshapen apples fall out of the system as waste, forcing farmers to either pay for the disposal of imperfect, unwanted apples or leave them to rot in the fields.
In response, we created a social enterprise dedicated to salvaging those unusual apples, an agricultural version of upcycling to reduce food waste.
How does our social enterprise work? Using a sound business plan, we produce a healthy snack while educating future changemakers funded by a revenue model of product sales, all while supporting farmers, helping the environment, and addressing food insecurity.
We partnered with local farmers and the North Okanagan Valley Gleaners, a not-for-profit food processor dedicated to alleviating hunger. We developed an innovative way to dehydrate those unwanted apples and convert them into healthy apple chips.
We then donated those apple chips to breakfast and lunch programs in local schools and food banks in our community. And through our collaboration with the Gleaners, our apple chips are feeding people in countries including Guatemala and war-torn Ukraine.
To meet growing demand and expand our apple chip donations, we refined our process, dramatically increasing production by 500%.
This year, we forged a partnership with Food for Thought, a local charity, and 3 school districts to expand our apple chip donations to 51 schools, representing over 22,000 students. This is an increase of 590%.
We run a backpack program and a breakfast program to support some of the over 5,900 children in the central Okanagan that are at risk of food insecurity. We deliver a breakfast program to over 33 schools, which encompass Lake Country, Kelowna, and West Kelowna. By putting that nutritious fruit, apple chips, into those backpacks and sending that food home has been so helpful in providing children with good nutrition when they're not in school, because we all know that hunger doesn't take the weekend off.
We've already expanded our partnership to 3 Canadian non-profit production partners, and we're collaborating with 2 Enactus teams across the country to prove this project-in-a-box model.
With the success of our apple chip donations, we started to look for new opportunities to support our community and turned our attention to educational programming.
Our team collaborated with local schools to launch an initiative that teaches kids about how they can help solve social, environmental, and economic issues in our communities.
As a part of the program, the future changemakers participated in field trips to a local apple orchard where they helped us rescue the apples.
We then dehydrated those apples, which the students proudly distributed at their schools. The program culminated with classroom visits by our Enactus team members this spring to discuss environmental sustainability and social entrepreneurship.
Kids shouldn't have to worry about not having enough food to eat or not having enough meals every day, and we learned how to help change this.
After receiving amazing feedback, we used our entrepreneurial leadership to further expand this program to high school students. And this summer, we worked with educators to formalize our Planting Seeds curriculum, moving its delivery online. Leveraging the partnerships we have formed with teachers and schools across Canada through one of our previous projects, we expect to reach over 50,000 students with this curriculum for long-lasting positive impact.
With our apple chip donations scaling and our educational program launching, we faced an important challenge. How can we fund these social programs as an economically sustainable social enterprise?
Our solution, apple juice. Once again, using those beautiful, imperfect apples, we created a high-quality juice with an extended shelf life and a compelling social benefit story.
The value proposition resonated with retailers and customers, allowing us to formally brand and launch our new social enterprise, Unusually Good Food Company, an organization dedicated to doing some good with those unusual apples to fight food insecurity and climate change.
This year, we designed brand new, award-winning packaging and retail point-of-purchase materials to reflect our mission. This has allowed us to expand to 13 retail locations across 5 cities in our province.
When I had an opportunity to try the juice, it was just like having a piece of apple pie. Just unbelievable quality. But the part that I like about it the most is it's young people giving back to our community, which is what I should have been doing a long time ago. Producing a product that is not only quality, but the fact that they support our children, the meals program, and the food banks with their apple chip program is just phenomenal.
From the beginning, we've been committed to continuous improvement and innovation to fuel our enterprise and to developing additional revenue streams to fund our social and environmental mission.
This spring, we saw an opportunity to repurpose the apple pomace byproduct from our juice-making operations to produce apple-scented candles, taking significant steps towards achieving a zero-waste social enterprise.
Working with a local candle manufacturer, we produced a test run of these candles and sold out our inventory in only 2 months. As we continue to scale this new product segment, we are confident it will be a growing area of revenue for our social enterprise.
And we've taken inspiration from farmers as well, who have encouraged us to help solve another Canadian food waste issue, cherries. So this summer, we started selling cherry juice produced from unwanted cherries that would have gone to waste. Our proof of concept was a success, selling out in only 2.5 weeks.
With a growing and diversifying product and fruit portfolio, we have demonstrated a sound business model and that we can replicate and scale our revenue streams, working towards a truly sustainable social enterprise that will achieve long-lasting positive impact.
Through our research and development efforts, we are also prototyping other beverages and products like apple cereal made from fruit pomace that my 4 kids taste tested and approve. We have further plans to scale these innovative products.
We're proud to be making change one apple
And 1 cherry.
at a time.
Despite our team facing challenges and supply chain issues, we have shown great strength and resiliency, along with demonstrating our entrepreneurial leadership and innovation to overcome these challenges.
Environmentally, this year, we repurposed 35,000 pounds of apples from going to waste, and the 13 million liters of water those apples would have used through their life cycle. Our upcycling efforts diverted 156,000 pounds of CO2 emissions.
Socially, we donated over 38,000 servings of apple chips to schools, food banks, and even developing countries, and we also educated the next generation of change makers, empowering them to turn their ideas into social entrepreneurship action.
Economically this year, our unusually good products have generated over $80,000 in revenue, an increase of 232% from last year, allowing us to pay farmers for apples that would have rotted in their fields.
And there's an enormous opportunity to expand, considering over 300 million pounds of apples go to waste in Canada every year.
If we could rescue just 5% of these apples, we could generate over $15 million in revenue. And by reinvesting the profits from those sales, we could produce nearly 80 million servings of apple chips to feed children facing food insecurity.
And this is with only 5% of the apples that go to waste in Canada. By expanding this social enterprise internationally, the potential to help those in need is immense.
And this potential has attracted the interest of an impact investor. She brings capital, existing relationships with retail companies, and experience founding and scaling a national food product business. With her help, we can scale across Canada and into several international markets.
We may have started this project in one Canadian orchard, but we are taking this mission worldwide. Globally, 1/3 of all apples produced never make it past the trees they grow on. That's 29 million tons of apples.
We know we can never rescue all of these apples alone, but imagine the impact of Enactus teams from around the world working together to rescue these unusual apples and produce juice and chips to share with those in need across the globe.
And we aren't limited to apples. We've already proven that this model can work for fruits and vegetables grown and wasted around the world.
But this unusually good impact goes beyond numbers because we are not only driving change ourselves, but empowering others to do the same.
Because we believe success isn't just about what you accomplish in your life, it's about what you inspire others to do.
At Enactus Okanagan College,
we are empowering communities
to create change.
Thank you to the team from Canada.